Welcome to the battlefield. You're watching Wrestling Reality Hub, your front row seat to WWE Mayhem. Subscribe and let's drop kick into the headlines. What unfolded backstage on SmackDown became one of the most unexpected twists in months, not because of loud confrontations or chaotic fights, but because of the quiet strangeness of it all. When cameras cut to the hallway, fans expected Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair to combust after weeks of tension. Instead, what they saw was the complete opposite. Two competitors walking side by side with a calmness that didn't fit the story everyone thought they were watching. Alexa's demeanor felt almost too warm, too kind, as she told Charlotte she was proud of her. Charlotte, guarded but honest, admitted that many of her recent decisions were made with Alexa in mind. The exchange created a rare moment of uneasy stillness between two women who usually exist on opposite emotional wavelengths. And that silence became the fuse that would ignite everything that came next. The invitation that changed everything. The mood shifted when Charlotte asked the simple question that everyone backstage wanted to know. What's next? Alexa gave her a small, unreadable smile and replied with two words. Follow me. There was no tension in her voice, no hesitation, just a quiet confidence that made the moment feel heavier than it appeared. Alexa led Charlotte down the hallway toward a closed door, her steps slow, steady, and deliberate. To anyone watching, it looked like a peace offering, a moment of new alignment between two competitors who had finally put their differences aside. But underneath that calm surface, something else was brewing. Something intentional, something planned. When Alexa opened the door, Charlotte's expression shifted instantly. Inside the dimly lit room stood Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley, waiting with the kind of stillness that never means anything good in WWE. Charlotte paused, confused, cautious, and that hesitation was all the opening the moment needed. A calculated betrayal. In that split second, Alexa made her move, but not with aggression or chaos. Instead, she simply placed a firm hand on Charlotte's back and guided her forward into the room before quietly closing the door behind her. There was no dramatic shove, no violent throw, just a precise, deliberate gesture that made the betrayal feel even colder. Alexa's expression changed from warm to quietly satisfied, not cruel but knowingly controlled, as if she'd been waiting for the exact moment the puzzle pieces finally snapped into place. She looked at the other women and said they needed to have a chat, a phrase simple enough to sound harmless, but loaded with intent for anyone who understood how alliances form in the shadows of WWE. The door didn't slam, it clicked. Soft, unforgiving, and final. Power shifts in motion. Moments later, Iyo Sky stepped out of the room alongside Alexa, the two leaving the scene without haste or drama. They didn't need theatrics. The meaning was clear. Behind the door, Charlotte was left face-to-face with Rhea Ripley, a competitor who has made a career out of controlling any room she's in. There was no immediate chaos, no sudden attack, just a tension thick enough to reshape the atmosphere of the entire backstage area. It wasn't the moment of impact that mattered, it was the pairing itself, the sudden reshuffling of alliances, and the unmistakable truth that this wasn't a chance encounter. It signaled a shift in the women's division, one built not on brute force, but on strategy, patience, and quiet unity. This new dynamic didn't mark the beginning of a rivalry, it marked the beginning of a recalibration of power. A new alliance takes shape. The implications of Alexa standing beside Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley stretch far beyond the hallway where the moment took place. It wasn't just a betrayal, it was a realignment, subtle, strategic, and built on the kind of planning that doesn't happen overnight. Alexa Bliss is not someone who acts impulsively when it comes to moments this big. Everything about her choices suggested intention. Pairing with two of the division's most skilled and imposing competitors created a trio capable of reshaping matches, alliances, and even championship paths. The absence of loud conflict made the situation even more unsettling. The quiet made it clear that Alexa wasn't burning a bridge with Charlotte. She was constructing something else entirely, something that could influence the division for months to come. The effect on Charlotte Flair. For Charlotte Flair, the moment wasn't defined by shock, it was defined by isolation. She walked backstage with confidence, believing she had finally understood her place in the current landscape. But the unexpected alliance waiting for her behind that door showed how quickly the ground can shift in WWE. Charlotte, known for her dominance and command of every space she enters, found herself outnumbered not through force, but through coordination. The psychological effect of that moment is what will carry this storyline forward. It wasn't about injury or danger. It was about trust broken, expectations overturned, and the realization that even someone as accomplished as Charlotte could be outmaneuvered by a united front she didn't see coming. The future of the women's division. This unfolding story doesn't aim for a shocking, one-off moment. It hints at a long-term shift, the kind of slow-burn narrative WWE does best when it allows tension, alliances, and rivalries to grow organically. With Alexa, IYO, and Rhea standing on one side and Charlotte suddenly isolated, the division is poised for new matchups, unexpected confrontations, and evolving dynamics that could define SmackDown for months. This alliance raises questions about motivations, strategies, and long-term goals. Are they aligned for a shared purpose? Are their interests simply intersecting for now? Or is this a stepping stone towards something even bigger? A cinematic beginning. As the dust settles, it becomes clear that this wasn't the climax of a storyline. It was the prologue. Alexa's quiet betrayal, IYO's deliberate presence, and Rhea's unspoken dominance created the kind of backstage moment that doesn't just advance rivalries, but reshapes entire divisions. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter, where strategy matters as much as strength, where alliances can shift without warning, and where every calm moment can become the spark for something bigger. For fans who follow the deeper threads, the narrative elements are rich, trust-tested, power rebalanced, and a trio forming that no one saw coming. And as always in WWE, the most shocking twists are the ones delivered not with chaos, but with calm certainty.